All right, testing. 1, 2, testing. Can you hear me out there? Can you hear me? We're going to try this again. Yeah, we are back. You know, we had audio issues. Hopefully this time it works. I appreciate you guys that was waiting. Oh, sounds like we're good to go. Hold on, let's do one more test. Let's see if we get a feedback with the YouTube video. Let's find out. So we can get into these updates. Let's see.
Mike Hestron, I'm the Riverside County District.
All right, sounds like we might be good to go, y'all. All right. See if I can find back the video. All right, so we're going to get into these updates here on Fugitive TV about exactly what's going on, what they said. So like I said before, the last thing we knew was Jake was leading the police on a search for Emanuel in the mountains, pretty much, in San Bernardino in the mountains, in a red jumpsuit. So a lot of people thought that, hey, since he's out there, he told them where he was at. He told them where the baby was at, that he confessed and things of that nature. Well, there was a report that came out that he did tell them, but it wasn't the truth, that he pretty much led them on this lie, which I kind of think he was doing. That's what they're saying. Now, you never can trust what they're telling us, right? I mean, you really can't. You can't trust what they're telling us. Now, for one, for you guys that's never been in trouble before or never had to deal with the law, and for you ones that have dealt with the law, usually they're not going to tell you exactly, to the media, what they know, because they don't want the defense to have a defense, if you know what I mean. So if I know that you're going to attack me in court with a certain angle, let's just say you're going to attack me, oh, I'm crazy, I'm insane, and that's your position. Now I know that's your position, so now I got to come up with a defense of maybe why I'm crazy or maybe why I'm insane. So I got to come up with this, defense for that. So they're not going to always come out and tell you everything that's going on with the case, and that is the reason why. And some people always wonder why, but that is the reason why. So they're not going to tell us everything right away, right? So it's up to us. We got to try and figure out, put 2 and 2 together, and everything else we can do. So there's an update by Brian. Brian came out today, and while I was in the office, I was listening to what he said, and I was like, hold on, wait 1 minute, because what he was saying, what he found out, what Jake did, I kind of was been in that situation, not Jake's situation. No, not like that. But I know exactly how to break this down, because even some of these news media outlets was like, it's just legal. Can they do that? How do they do that? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how they do that. Let's see if I can find it. All right, let's go back up to YouTube, because I had to close it down. And we're going to go to Brian. Hold on real quick. It's under Jake Harrell. Brian.
Hey guys, thanks so much for...
All right. I think we're good to go.
checking out my channel, please click to subscribe. In this episode, I have exclusive new information about the baby Emanuel murder case out of California. Baby Emanuel's father, sources tell me, Jake Harrow, told a fake inmate in the jail that he killed baby Emanuel and put the baby in a trash can in his house. Let me repeat that again.
Did you hear that, y'all?
Sources say that Jake Harrow told a fake inmate in the jail that he killed baby Emanuel and put the baby in a trash can in his house. You might be wondering how police got this information. This is part of what I'm told is called a Perkins operation. A Perkins operation, which is when police use a fake inmate to try to get information out of someone who has been arrested and who is inside the jail.
So did you guys hear that? You guys heard that? Supposedly Jake told this fake inmate that he threw a baby Emanuel in the trash. Now, when it comes to this, like he said, Perkins operation, now later on he actually asked another person what a Perkins operation is. Most people don't know about what that is, right? Yeah, I mean, thank you. I mean, how could you tell another person? Now, for one, I'm a little skeptical about if this really happened. That's one, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? Number two, it could be true. So I'm going to tell you from my personal experience, because if you guys don't know, unfortunately, I did time myself. You know, I had to turn my life around and things of that nature. But when I was locked up and I was in county jail, now when you're in county jail, you're in there with everybody. All kind of people are in there, right? And everybody's waiting for a trial date, sentencing. Everybody's waiting, so everybody's mixed up. My cellmate, this guy, and I'm not going to give his name out, but my cellmate, one of them, he was in there because him and a couple other guys went to rob a Taco Bell worker. And when they went to go rob this Taco Bell worker, it was for a gang initiation, actually, is what it was for. They were trying to initiate this younger kid. This younger kid wanted to join their gang, so they're like, okay, you got to go out and rob this Taco Bell worker. The Taco Bell worker was leaving this Taco Bell and riding a bike. So they went to go rob him. Something went wrong. They accidentally pretty decimated him, offed him, right? Is what happened. When that happened and the police went to investigate, they found out the Taco Bell worker actually was disabled. It was like a 16-year-old kid. He had, I can't remember exactly what he had, but he was disabled. So it made the situation even worse. That's one. Second, they linked that crime to a bunch of other crimes that these three were doing. They were going and taking people hostage in their home, robbing them, and I'm talking about senior citizens, all kind of things is what they were doing. So the main guy who was the leader in doing all this was my actual cellmate. That's who I was in the cell with. Little old me, I'm in there for not nothing even close to that. But that was my first cellmate. So I'm in there with this guy for about 3 weeks, right? And my name got called. There's a sheriff or a deputy that sits inside the cells with you, not the cell, but the pod. And in this jail, in this county jail, he sits in the pod. So they call my name. I went to the stand where the deputy sits at. He said, the nurse wants to see you. I said, all right, whatever. So I go, you know, they take me, they escort me. We're going down the hallways. And I've been to the nurses station before. I've been there a couple times. You have to go there. Sometimes they gotta test you, make sure you don't have certain diseases, just things like that, right? So I've been there before. I noticed we're not going down the same hallway to the nurses station. We are not going down the same hallway. So we end up going to a different hallway, which said interview room 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They take me to an interview room. They open the door. There is 2 investigators sitting there. So, of course, in my head, I'm thinking like, what did I do? What did I do, right? So they sit me down. And then they start going over what I am in jail for. And then they say, well, listen, what if we can help you out? And what if we can do this to pretty much, not make it go away, but help you out. So I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean help out? So then they show me a photograph of my cellmate. And they go, and I told you, I'm not going to say his name. I want to put him out there, but they're like, this is him. Are you willing to try and get him to tell you, more information about his case? Because I guess there was a lot of missing holes in the case, and they were trying to connect them all together, and they couldn't connect the holes together in his case. So they were trying to use me to go into the cell. Now picture this. I'm not the biggest guy. I'm about 5'10", 5'11". I weigh about 150 pounds. That's it. I will tell you about the guy that was my cellmate. He's 6'2", 6'3". He was also in the military, a sergeant, probably about a good 210, 215 pure muscle. My first, I'm like, seriously? You want? And they're like, well, you can either try and wear a wire, but it's risky because if you take your shirt off and forget, it's right there. But then not only that, you have to wear a recording device because the way those walls are, the wire is, they can't hear from outside the wall. So you got to wear a recording device. That's how they try to play you, STEM. Yeah, get beat up for that. Thank you. This is why I say I know about this personally. I could tell you about this personally, unfortunately. So I'm like, so what do you mean? So they're like, yeah, we need him to tell you this. I don't remember the exact details, what they needed him to tell me, but they're like, we need him to tell you this. We need him to tell you that. And I had to tell them, I'm sorry. No, y'all not about to put my life in danger over trying to tell on this guy. It's not happening. So when he said the Perkins operation, like he said, let's rewind this back to what he said, right?
Part of what I'm told is called a Perkins operation. A Perkins operation, which is when police use a fake inmate to try to get information out of someone who has been arrested and who is inside the jail. This Perkins operation came after, I'm told.
So once again, now he said a fake inmate, right? Now, sometimes they might use a fake inmate. They might use an undercover cop to go in there. But here's the problem with that. Most of these inmates who are in jail, they've been in there in and out. They can almost smell a cop or smell somebody with a badge. So they really don't use the fake inmate too much. A lot of times when they're doing this, they're actually using a real inmate to get this done. Thank you. Fake inmate, AKA snitch. You're correct. They're using usually real inmates to get this done. And the reason why, it makes sense. They're trying to use somebody who's already built a relationship with them, who's been talking with them every night. Because you got to think about it. You spend every hour of the day with this one person in your cell. So, you get to know them better than you know your spouse. Yes, and they know each other too. So you get to know them. You start talking about personal things, your kids, your children, where you grow up. You even start talking about, I wish I never did this. There's things you start talking about because you're in there so long and you're up at 2 a.m. So there's nothing else for you to do. So you start talking, right? So that is the reason why they try and get another inmate. Now, if you go Google, all you got to do is Google. You'll see there's been cases where they have used inmates against another inmate to get information out of them. Like I said, a lot of times it's not a fake inmate, as they say. It's not a cop. That's what they like to say. But a lot of times it's not because they're going to sniff that out. Ain't nobody in their right mind, unless you're dumb, going to get a new cellmate and come in there and think about it. How long has Jake been in jail for? How long has Jake been in jail for? What's today? Wednesday? He got arrested Friday? So he's been in jail barely 5 days. So he already told an inmate what happened in 5 days, right? 5 days. He already told the inmate what happened. Let's just think about that real quick, right? So that's why I'm like, yeah, I don't see him say anything right away like that either. Right now, I don't see him saying like the truth right away. You gotta remember the truth, right? So the one thing I can say about this, when they do that, like I said, they try and get information out of you. And if the inmate gets information out of you, what happens is he might stay with you for another day or two and then he leaves. I've seen it personally. You know, like I said, they try to have me do it. And the funny thing is, when I denied it and I turned it down, yeah, and he's been in jail before too. He, you know, he has been in jail before. I mean, he's not a rookie at this, right? He's a professional beater. Sad, but it's true. So when I denied it, they sent me back to the cell, and I was thinking in my head, I was thinking this whole time, should I tell him? Should I warn him? And I'm like, nah, I don't want to get in the middle of this. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm not going to say nothing. I ain't getting in the middle of this. So I go back to the cell, and I'm on the top bunk. He's on the bottom. Right when I crawl on the top, they call my name again, and they say, pack it up. You're moving. So because I didn't, choose to go snitch or rat on him or try and get info out of him like an informant, they moved me into a whole nother pod. I guess because they didn't want me to tell him, hey, these investigators, you got to look out. So they moved me right away into a whole nother pod and a whole nother floor on top of that. Because the way the jail was where I'm at, you can be in another pod, but you can still communicate with everybody because you can send these kites, which are like notes and things like that, through the trustees. The trustees are the people that change your bring you new sheets and things like that. So it's easy for that. But they put me on a whole nother floor, a whole nother pod. So even if I wanted to tell him, I couldn't. I didn't have a time. So I don't know if they ever got an informant to go in there and say anything. That I don't never know. I do know the guy. It's sad. I will tell you what happened with him. I do know this. He got in trouble with, it was him. He was, I believe, 23 years old. He had a younger brother that was 20, and he had another brother that was only 16 years old. They all three were in trouble for the same thing, and the 16-year-old, come to find out, had leukemia. So the older brother, the one that they wanted me to inform, he ended up taking a plea deal for 99 years. He took that plea deal only if they released the little brother that had leukemia. He took that plea deal, and then the middle brother got 72 years, and the little brother got let go. I don't know whatever happened with the little brother. I don't know if he survived, beat it, or what, but that's what happened with that story. It was all in the newspaper, so found out in word of mouth. Oh, no, not in jail with Jake. Not in jail with Jake. No, kitty cat. No. No, this is what I was in jail years ago. It was like 2004, 3 or whatever. And I was in jail with another inmate. And let me tell you real quick, I was in jail with another inmate. This inmate was in there for all kind of things. He decimated somebody and was held people hostage in houses. And they tried to get me to be a confidential informant and telling him since I was his cellmate, the quick rundown. And I said no. I was like, no. So that's pretty much what happened with Jake right now, what they're saying. But I'm going to get into why this could be believable and why this is probably BS. The one thing about the BS is because supposedly he already lied. We're going to get into that. He's going to mention this. Supposedly he already lied the first time and said Emanuel's here and they were out searching and there's no Emanuel. So if he already did that the first time, what makes you think he's going to turn around and tell the truth the second time to some inmate he just met? And not only that, a lot of people ain't thinking. I don't care what the news media is telling you. I know this. Anybody who goes to county jail in a high-profile case, this case is high-profile. Anybody who ever goes to jail on a high-profile case, usually they put you in some form of PC, protective custody. They usually don't let you in general population, which is with the other inmates, and they usually don't have you in a cell with another inmate if you're in PC. Now, it all depends on how crowded the jail is. That's for one. Now, believe me, they will make room to put him in one cell if they really want to. Somebody will be sleeping on the floor. I heard Jake was on heroin, and what did Rebecca do? His confession is stop posting his BS. Yeah, Lisa. Actually, I'm actually saying that his confession is probably BS. That's why I put the question mark after that. I'm saying his confession is probably BS. Yeah. So Jake was a heroin, and Rebecca did. So if you attended my live, yesterday, I think it was day for yesterday. I don't remember. I brought up all the mysterious deaths that was surrounding Jake and Rebecca, just to go off what Kitty Cat saying with the heroin report. I reported, or everybody knows Hector, Jake's brother, supposedly passed away in the same house over an OD is what they're saying. Now, I brought up yesterday, Rebecca's nephew, the person she went to the funeral for, August 5th. Remember this date, August 5th, she went to the funeral for, that was her nephew, Charlie. Charlie supposedly passed away as well. He passed away from an overdose, a fentanyl overdose. So I also I grew up in California, and I was trying to reach out to some people that I know out there. And some people were saying that the whole family pretty much, except for, I think it was one of the mothers, I don't remember if it was Jake or Rebecca's mom, but the whole family pretty much is on drugs. So if you ever heard about them being on drugs, I would believe it. And not only that, I went and found Charlie's background record, the nephew that passed away. And if you guys are there with me, he's been arrested over 20-something times for narcotics, possession, petty theft, abuse, substance abuse, beating on his spouse, all kind of things that resemble what a drug addict would do. And that is pretty much, if you think about it, that's crazy. And then Hector was supposed to be a drug addict, and Hector was at the house with Jake and Rebecca. Now, I don't know about y'all. I don't do drugs, right? I'll drink a little bit, but I don't do drugs. If I got anybody in my house that's doing drugs, they not going to be here, first of all, because I don't even do them. Why am I going to have somebody in my house doing drugs if I don't even do the drugs? So that part right there, when they were like Hector was in the house and OD'd, why was he in the house in the first place? All y'all was probably getting high together. That's the case. I really think they were all getting high together, and that was how Hector might have passed away. Who knows? We know he passed away. We just don't know how. We just got to take everybody's word for it when they said OD, right? And I can believe he OD because they probably all are drug addicts. So shit, Brian. I watched them earlier. I'm trying to see all of your shows. Thank you, Kitty Cat. I'm trying to make these for you. Oh, I saw it on the court records. That one charge was for heroin. Oh, yeah. They're drug addicts. So, if you think about it, this is what we call junkie behavior. Remember crackheads back in the day? They evolved. Crackheads evolved. They're doing things. Remember crackheads used to walk around the block? Remember the movies? You got a cheeseburger. Remember that? They evolved. Now crackheads are doing scams. Now they're trying to steal your credit card information. Now they're trying to do this. Now supposedly they're beating up on kids. They evolved to what we see Jake and Rebecca's doing. So, they're not the same because they're doing different drugs. Now, let's finish what Brian is saying.
Jake Harrow confessed to police that he rolled over in bed and killed the baby by accident and then buried the baby. So that is what Jake Harrow told police, which is why he took police to that spot out along the freeway. This video that we have, what Jake Harrow told,
so y'all can hear it,
and killed the baby by accident, has been arrested and who is inside the jail. This Perkins operation came after, I'm told, Jake Harrow confessed to police that he rolled over in bed and killed the baby by accident and then buried the baby. So that is what Jake Harrow told police, which is why he took police to that spot out along the freeway. This video that we have that shows him out there searching. That story, I'm told police believe, was all made up. First, they got that story. Then they decided to do the Perkins operation, I'm told, which is when they used the fake inmate and when they say they got the information that Jake Harrow actually killed baby Emanuel and put baby Emanuel into a trash can.
So ain't that something? So he told them that he was sleeping and rolled over and I guess smothered him And that was how he passed? Do y'all believe this? Regardless, he said, yeah. You know, I said this in my last video. I said if Jake and Rebecca would have never made a scene, would have never called anybody, would have never reported, had the news come out, had a press conference, I'm willing to bet that they would be out right now smoking crack, doing heroin, fentanyl, whatever it is they doing. I bet you if they would have never made a scene about this, because they self-snitched on themselves when they did that first report. Everybody was like, hold on, look at them fake tears. She ain't even got no tears. It's faking. From the moment we saw the news, the press conference, or whatever you want to call it, red flags popped up in all of our heads, especially everybody that had children like me. Like, hold on. Your kid is out here missing. This is, yeah. Oh, he was. Wait, this don't even look right. We all was questioning that. So, you know, if they would have never did that, I mean, and I hate to say it, I really hate to say it, but if they really never did that, they probably would have got away. But they snitched on themselves. Snitched on themselves. They ain't too smart, are they? That's what drugs do to you. Ain't too smart. So, but one show said the CPS had gone by their house on a call, and that's why they came out with the fake story and the fake kidnapping. She went from looking decent to 5 years. So you're saying there was one show said there was CPS. I have to look into that. CPS was going by their house. People are questioning about that. People are questioning if CPS was involved with the new kid, because there really is no proof. They're not showing any proof in that, so people are questioning that. But, yeah, they told on themselves. Now, with him confessing that he rolled over on the kid, no, I don't believe that either. And I hope y'all don't believe that. Well, come on, man. You rolled over on your kid. It was an accident. So you took him out to a mountain? Bro, ain't nobody believing you. Right now, I'm starting to wonder if y'all still high. What's going on? No.
Meanwhile, baby Emanuel's mother, I'm told, is still sticking to the same story. They also did a Perkins operation with her in jail, and she is standing by her story that baby Emanuel was kidnapped. That is also, you'll remember, what she told a reporter who she talked to in jail. So many tragic twists and turns in this case. My big concern right now is that if this story is true, that police allegedly found out about through this Perkins operation, that he killed baby Emanuel and put him into a trash can, and that it may have been up to 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Will they ever actually find baby Emanuel?
Now, he said 3 weeks ago, and yeah, Lisa, he didn't confess. I don't think, no. I guess how you look is how you look at a confession, right? A confession, I guess, is when you tell the truth, isn't it? Isn't that really what a confession is? Like Usher, these are my confessions. It's when you tell the truth, or when you go, you know, to the church and you confess and you tell your sins. Isn't that when you tell the truth? So if he's telling a lie, I don't think that's really considered a confession, right? So he's giving everybody BS. I think that's what he's doing. He's just giving everybody the runaround, the BS. And the only thing I could think of maybe why he's doing this, first of all, is to prolong what's going on. If he did say I rolled over on him, because I mean, we do have proof of him out in the field with the police searching, right? I think that was Sunday. So we do have proof that happened. So that does not happen unless he's, think about this. How would they know to be in that field? So he had to say something to them to make them go look in that field. So he had to say something so they can go search. And usually we all watch First 48. We all watch these shows. And usually when they're like saying, oh, this is right here, they say, hey, can you draw a map? Can you take us there? And he probably was like, I could take you there. Now, why did he choose to take him there? I remember, I'll tell you one thing. I remember somebody saying, man, if the cops just let me take me out one time, I'm gonna try and look for any avenue to escape. When I saw that, that's what I thought about. Is Jake trying to find a way to escape? He probably didn't expect all those police to be out there in helicopters. He probably didn't expect it, or he just wasn't thinking about it. Now, I'm not saying that's what he was thinking, but I wouldn't be shocked if that's what he was thinking. We're going to go out here in the mountain. We're going to look for Emanuel, and I'm going to find my opening, and I'm going to run off. I mean, think about it. People have done dumb stuff. Think about what they did. They're already doing dumb stuff, right? Yes, it's called a false confession. It's a lie. It's a lie. So how you keep saying he didn't confess? Yeah, I don't think he confessed. I think he's giving us all BS. I think it's all, just pulling the strings. That's what I was thinking. He said something maybe turning on his POS wife. Yeah, think about it. He turned on his ex-wife, right? Remember, he turned on his ex-wife. He turned on her, and he basically blamed it all on her. So if he's going to tell him, you know what? That's one thing I can't believe. I can't believe him playing the victim. That's why I rolled on him, and oh my God, I don't know what. I can see that. I can see Rebecca later on, maybe when she comes to her senses, her playing the victim. Even though she got something to do with it, I can see her playing the victim. Jake made me do this. Jake made me do. I can see that, And the sad part about it is, in this case, I bet you somebody's going to have to play the victim. And when they go to court, somebody's going to have to testify on somebody. Because for one, you can prosecute somebody without a weapon that's attached to the crime, and you can prosecute somebody without a body that's attached to the crime, right? But it is very, very hard. It is easier to defend when there's no body and no weapon. It's easier. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier to defend that. But if the prosecutors have a key eyewitness, which could be Jake or could be Rebecca, saying he did this and did that, and they can actually point them in the right direction and they can put all the pieces together, one of them's going to get life, and then the other one might get 40 years or something like that. And that's just the way it goes sometimes, Unfortunately, we both want them locked up forever, but I'm just saying I won't be shocked if that was how it happens. Jake he went out of his cage. He definitely went out of his cage. Oh man, he went out. But that's usually the way that happens. They gotta have some. Think about this. There is no key eyewitness. They're going off evidence that they found, cell phone records, data, trying to put them at this and that, this and that, this and that. Now Brian said 3 weeks ago, right? Remember, he said 3 weeks. Rebecca went to a funeral August 5th. The prosecutor today said that they believe Emanuel has been gone since August 5th. That's when Rebecca went to the funeral for her nephew that passed away from OD. The same day. August 5th. Think about that.
I'm joined now by Kim Dagonia, a former Riverside County prosecutor. Thank you for joining me again, Kim. I want to start with this new reporting that we have, that Jake confessed to police that he rolled over the baby,
hopefully,
killed the baby, and then buried the baby. But apparently that story was not true, right?
Yes, that is correct. My inside sources are telling me that was absolutely a lie. He made that all up to the police in order to, I guess, garner some type of sympathy, garner some type of a linear charge or sentence, but he made up this entire fabricated story that he was asleep with the baby Emmanuel, that he rolled over onto baby Emmanuel. When he woke up, he realized the baby was dead and he panicked. And so he went out to the Gilman Springs area that we saw him with the police the other day, and he buried the body because he wanted to have the opportunity to go back and mourn his son's death and visit him. That was his story. That's why he was out there in his chains and his shackles, allegedly trying to lead the police to the body that was never there.
Okay.
It was just part of his story.
The reason that we know that this is allegedly made up is because of this reporting that we have that he spoke to someone who he thought was an inmate in the jail, but it was actually what is known as, is it a Perkins operation? So it's actually a police officer who he
What do y'all think?
admitted
Y'all
to
believe this?
actually
Y'all believe that crap?
killing the baby. First of all, can you explain what a Perkins operation is?
Sure. We don't know if the person who was undercover was a police officer, if it's another, you know, run-of-the-mill citizen of the community that
That's
was
what I think.
acting
Same
as an
thing.
undercover inmate. We
BS.
just know there was another
All of
body
it.
in the jail
I wouldn't
cell
even believe anything he
pretending
says.
to be an inmate in the same inmate clothes as Jake Harrow, shackled in the same manner in which Jake Harrow is. And they begin to ask questions while being recorded to Jake specifically about the charges and why he's in there in hopes that he will admit whatever.
Now, one thing is if, let's say, they do use the Perkins operation, right? And let's say they have an inmate go in there and they do get a so-called confession out of Jake, and Jake tells this other inmate, hey, I did this and did that. And Jake is to say he's told the truth, right? And then the inmate goes and tells the police, and come to find out he told the truth because maybe they found Emanuel and this and that and everything else. He's alone in protective custody by himself. Yeah, I said this. Yeah, I'm saying he could be alone in protective custody. He could be. Because I do know for a fact, usually they go to protective custody. But let's just say for a sake, though, if he did tell an inmate or they did use the Perkins operation on him, right? If they do something like that, here is the only thing. If it's a inmate that's in there on charges, the defense can actually come back and say, hey, this witness is not reliable. This witness could be lying in order to save himself to get out of jail. So that is a very good argument. And that is why sometimes this doesn't always work. Now, if they used a really fake undercover, let's say, cop, which barely happens. You don't see the undercover cop going into the jail too much. Trust me, I know you don't see it because everybody sniffs him out. Now, if they use a real fake undercover to go into and let's say be his cellmate or go into the jail and get a confession from anyone, that is more a reliable source because he's actually a cop. And a cop is supposedly, you know, a trusted source to get on the stand. Everybody believes what they say. There's no questions asked unless there's video proof, right? That's the way it always works. But if it's just a regular inmate on charges, the defense has an argument saying this inmate could be lying, that this inmate is only saying this to save himself or herself. So that is the only issue when it comes to any of this. So if this is true, and the police did try that, it could be an issue in the long run, and it can come back and bite them.
Really happened to baby Emmanuel to these fake inmates in custody. And this, it's called a Perkins operation. It's these types of investigative tools have been going on for decades in agencies and district attorneys' offices across California. It's a very standard and typical investigative tool that you see the sheriff's department use in many different cities and counties across California.
Is it controversial at all doing that?
Yeah, it's been very controversial. I think Orange County District Attorney's Office was at the center of a lot of the controversy a few years ago. From that came a much tighter rein on how these are conducted. You know, the Riverside District Attorney's Office.
Yeah, so like she said, it's controversial. So when they do something like that, it's very controversial because it can be beat. It's like a lie detector test, right? A lot of people don't know this. If you take a lie detector, all right, if the cops say, hey, we're going to give you a lie detector test, people get scared. Like, oh my God, I'm going to take this lie detector test. Even if you fail the test, they can throw that out in court because a lie detector test is not 100% accurate. In court, it has to be 100% accurate. It can't be ifs, maybe, ands, I think about it. It has to be 100%. So you could fail a lie detector test and still be telling the truth. You can pass a lie detector test and actually be lying. People have done it before plenty of times. So it's something that they really can't use. They can try to use it, but they can't. So it's the same thing with this clause. Like I said, remember I told you earlier, when they asked me, hey, you want to go and tell on your cellmate and, get some information out of him? They could have tried to use mine. Now, let's say if my stuff didn't work out. Now, I'm labeled as a snitch. I'm labeled as a rat. Now, I'm having a hard time in jail, all for nothing, because mine got thrown out because the defense was like, nah, he's an inmate just trying to get out, which most inmates are going to try to do. I know an inmate right now. Actually, not an inmate. So I did a interview. My first interview was with this guy named, and you guys go check his YouTube channel out. I'll actually try and post it on my channel later on. I did an interview for Matt Cox, True Crime. His name is Matthew Cox, COX, True Crime. Okay? Matt Cox did one of the biggest real estate scams ever in the state of Florida. And he ended up going and getting prison time. While he was in prison, if I remember his story correctly, his cellmate was somebody who was really huge. Y'all remember like Bernie Madoff or whatever, the guy who did all the scams and pyramid schemes? It wasn't him, but it was somebody like that. And him and Matt were cellmates for a long time. And the guy, I guess, confessed to him like, hey, there's some money that they didn't find. There's this and there's that they didn't find. So Matt was like, you shouldn't tell me this. I think he straight up told him, like, you shouldn't be telling me this. And he was like, yeah. So Matt took that information and took it to his attorney. And then his attorney took that information, went to the DA. They worked out a deal, and Matt got out of prison. But it's also because what he told Matt connected. They actually found evidence of it. So they couldn't say it was a lie or anything like that. So since it actually found evidence of it, Matt got out of jail. Now, Matt has told this on his channel. He's told it plenty of times. This is what he's did. He's confessed and told people. That's why I'm telling you guys. But when you guys get a chance, check out Matthew Cox, True Crime. It's a good, like I said, I did my very first interview. My whole story's on there.
Office, from my understanding and my experience, has gone to great lengths along with the sheriff's department to make sure that they are following and articulating the legal analysis and following the law as they conduct these operations. It's very specific, and in my experience, they follow the law in using this tool as an investigative means to get a confession out of many defendants over the years.
So this was a fake inmate who he told reportedly that he killed baby Emanuel and then put baby Emanuel into a trash can.
Fake inmate, aka snitch.
I'm just thinking about waste management and all the trash cans and the landfill. I mean, it sounds like this could be very difficult in terms of finding his remains.
Yeah.
So, I don't. But here's the thing: it's like, how do you believe anything that comes out this man's mouth? It's hard to believe anything that comes out of his mouth, even if he did say anything. You really have to go off, the evidence they found before. I would never take one of those. My friend has a lie detector business, and he excuses whenever he wants to make it come out the way he wants. Yes. There's a lot of things they do, the lie detector test. All right. Here's one thing they do, right? So let's say you take a lie detector test. Now, you have to remember, police are legally allowed to lie to you. They don't have to tell you the truth. They can lie to you. So let's say you take the lie detector test. Let's say they ask you all these questions, right? They ask you a bunch of questions. Let's say you passed all of it. You passed the whole thing. They don't have to let you know. They could do little subtle things to make you think you failed or whatever. As soon as you get finished, they could be looking at it. And I brought this up before. Oh, this don't look good. It don't look good for the police because he told the truth, but he's like, this don't look good. Oh, now you thinking you lied. You got in your head right now, I lied. I got to tell the truth, I lied. There's all sort of things they can do with a lie detector test, so that's why it can get thrown out. That's why with the fake inmate, can get thrown out unless what the person says leads to real evidence, then that's a different story. But if it don't lead to no evidence, you just told on this man for nothing. Unless it's a real cop, now that's different because that's pretty much an undercover.
Yes, that's the sad part of all of this. That is correct. He did confess to these, we will call them fake inmates, that
Baseball
he did
score, be
kill
right
baby
back. I don't know.
Emmanuel
I'm a,
and that
I'm a
he threw
Dodgers
him in the
fan,
trash
so
can at his home. Uh, Approximately a week before Rebecca Haro even stated that the baby was missing. So baby Emmanuel's been missing for quite some time. And as a result, Waste Management, from my understanding, has told the sheriff's department it would be nearly impossible to
so I wonder
determine
where they get their
which
information
waste
from.
management truck took the
And here's the
trash,
thing,
which bin it was.
This guy, Brian Enton is usually a trustful source. He's got a lot of sources out there. I wish I had his sources. So I wonder where he would get this information from, right? Who fed him this?
In and which landfill this particular trash can would have gone to, making it almost impossible that we will ever find baby Emmanuel's body.
That's awful to think about.
It really is. It
Terrible.
really
So,
is.
so this Perkins operation with the fake inmate happened. Did that happen after, I'm assuming, the after he lied to the lied and said that he buried the body?
Yes.
Okay. So that
Now, I will tell you guys, in the press conference that the police had today, it was a little funny actually. So they had a press conference today. If you didn't see it, the press conference was the sheriff and then the DA, right? The DA pretty much, which we all are blaming the old judge that let Jake go to begin with. The DA pretty much threw the judge under the bus. Was like the judge is responsible for the one for him not even getting prison time, which he's right about that, right? He's right. A reporter actually asked him. The reporter said, "Hey, there's reports that there was a fake inmate he told this to. Even if it was true, the DA is not going to tell him, yeah, it was a fake inmate that went in there. They're not going to tell him that. It doesn't work that way. So even if it was true, they have to tell us, yeah, that didn't happen. It didn't happen. They have to. Because what if he sat up there and said, yeah, there was a fake inmate, and Jake's lawyer is looking at the everybody's gonna look at the press conference right now. Jake's lawyer is looking at the press conference like, oh, they're putting fake inmates in with you now, Jake. You better look out. You better look out, Jake. They're putting fake inmates in with you. What you doing, bro? You don't say nothing. So no, they're not gonna say all that stuff on TV. They are not going to. Judge George. Oh, how did you know the judge? Judge, or is it Jorge Hernandez or George? Jorge or George, one of the two, huh? Judge Hernandez, how'd you know? You Googled it real quick? Is he still a judge? That's what I want to know. Is he still a judge? If you ever get in trouble, you want him as your judge. This guy gave no F's. Hold on real quick. Give me 10 seconds. Let me change my battery real quick. Give me 10 seconds.
that was really just a wild goose chase out there.
It was 100% a wild goose chase, from my understanding.
Wow, that's got to be frustrating for law enforcement.
Oh, for sure. And it goes to show you Jake Haro's mental status, right? The level that he will go to not only kill an infant, but the great lengths he will go to cover it up and create this fabricated lie.
All right, we're
Such a
back.
fabricated lie that he allowed investigators to participate in something that's not ordinarily done, which is basically taking a field trip out to a fake crime scene. I mean, he created all of that in his mind, knowing it was a lie, knowing it was fake, and lived out the entire lie for the next 24 hours with law enforcement. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, and
It just shows the level
I'm
that you're dealing with.
I'm thinking back to his story. He said that he was mourning his son, so he buried him. Like, how does that make any sense?
Right. He claims that from what I understand, he buried the body close to his home so that he could go back and visit, almost like a gravesite, because he never planned on telling anybody the baby was dead.
But that was all made up.
Yes.
Okay.
You know how you really get a confession out of somebody, especially that's in jail? You know how you really do it? If the person's already in jail, take him out of protective custody, throw him in the yard with people who are already looking at life. That's how you get a confession out of somebody. You know, like the water, the water Chinese torture, when they, kidnap our, FBI agents, and they want to get information out of them, they torture them. I'm not saying we do it. Let the other inmates do it. That's how you get a real confession out of somebody.
And then we've also reported that Rebecca Haro, that there was also a Perkins operation with her. So a fake female prisoner, and
He
that
is
she
still a
has been
judge.
sticking to her
Interesting.
original story, which is similar to what she said to the reporter for the newspaper who got through
That's
to her,
crazy. Still a
that,
judge.
that there was this, essentially
I
this
wonder how he.
kidnapping, and
I wonder how he feels right now. I wonder how he feels. I wonder if he regrets his decision.
that they don't know what happened. It's kind of interesting that that she's sticking to the original story, and it sounds like he's, not.
Right, that's my understanding. She is sticking to
All right, so pretty much the rest of this is done. They were just talking about. I want to give you guys the information on this about about supposedly what Jake told this other inmate, and I wanted to break down to you guys exactly how this fake inmate operation works. Only because I had personal experience. They tried to ask me to do it when I was an inmate, and I told them no, sorry, I ain't risking my life for y'all. I'm not going to jail for the rest of my life. I have a date. I can get out. I'm not doing it. And I'm not walking around here as a rat. No. I wasn't in protective custody. Nah. So here was
My name is Mike Hester, and I'm the Riverside County.
the press conference today. We're going to take a little bit of look at this so you can see what they have to say.
County District Attorney. Welcome. I want to do a couple of things today. First thing I want to do is introduce the individuals that are here on stage with me. First off,
Yeah,
my
he
far
was,
left, we have Riverside
actually
County
in his
Sheriff
press
Chad.
conference, when they start throwing him under the bus, they actually said that, yeah, he was a judge from a different county and came over. He helps immigrants, it says on his profile. Wow. Does he? Yeah. So what, he helps them go back on the streets? It's not funny, but really? That's what it says on his profile? He's got a what? He helps immigrants? That's not I'm on the bench for justice. I'm gonna fight for what's right. I help immigrants. Okay.
Chad Bianco.
Jorge.
We have San Bernardino County Sheriff Sergeant Nicholas Clark. We have San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. We have Assistant District Attorney Brandon Smith, and then myself.
So Raquel says, did those two bury their baby on August 5th when they attended the nephew's funeral? That's how much those two parents don't give a. You know what? Yeah. So apparently what the police are saying, August 5th, which is the same day she went to the funeral, is supposedly when everything happened. Yeah, supposedly there is a video at Costco. Not only that, I also saw, I forgot the guy's name. He's a Spanish dude, Mexican guy running around, a reporter. he cracks me up because he talks like one of the homies on the hood. Oh, Holmes, talks like that. But he's running around reporting and he's getting all this information. And I can't remember his name though. When I saw him, he was at a pawn shop. Supposedly the pawn shop guy said cops came in and asked for video because they were at a pawn shop. And the baby was there. I don't know. They never showed the video, but supposedly that was what happened. I forgot the guy's name though. 3 minutes in and I'm already hearing a lot of misinformation. That translates to rumors and lies. This just keeps getting crazier and crazier. What's the misinformation you're hearing, Lynette? What's the misinformation? I'd like to know what you know. And not only that, you have to remember, none of us are working in this office. So none of us really know the true information. And if you do know the true information, you're probably not on here talking about it. But none of us really know. So we all can just speculate, right? And we all can just take what everybody's saying and try and put piece and piece together. And not only that, we can try and use common sense, right? For a fact, like how they're saying he confessed or a confession. That's, to me, that's BS. I think it's BS. There's a reason why I put Jake confessed with a question mark. To me, it's BS. Confession is the truth. I don't think he's telling the truth, but that's just me. Let's see. Tira. So much twists and turns. Yes, there is a lot of twists and turns. Yeah, Lisa, I had a chat yesterday, Lisa, about Charlie. Charlie's the nephew. Matter of fact, I might still even have it up. Hold on. I actually have his criminal charges up. Let me see. See if I still got it. I had the whole rap sheet. I think he was arrested over 20 times. It was 20 times her nephew was arrested. Is this it right here? Yes. All right, so this is Charlie. That's Charlie. That's Rebecca's nephew, the funeral she went to. This is how many times this man's been arrested. Look at this. And it's pretty much all for the same stuff. Possession of controlled substance, possession of narcotics, remove, destroy, wireless damaged device. Pretty much what happened was he got fighting his girlfriend. The girlfriend said she's going to call the police. He took the cell phone and smashed it. False imprisonment, which means he told her she can't go anywhere. Pretty much that's what false imprisonment is. Preventing someone assistance or law enforcement because he smashed her phone, told her she couldn't go help. Another charge, dissuading a witness from reporting a crime, probably could have been the girlfriend. False imprisonment by violence, so he was violent towards her. Battery on a spouse, grand theft, he could have stole her car, who knows. Taking a vehicle without owner's consent, another one, possession of controlled substance, controlled substance. There was even one in here, he had ammunition. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So not only was he a drug addict, but he was also an abuser. Yeah, I pulled his whole criminal history up. So, and I even said, when she showed up at the funeral, she had to be close to him. She knew who she was, right? So is the whole family wacko? Is the whole family like this? On both sides, Jake's and Rebecca's? Is this why they get along? What is that saying? What is that? When two people have drama in their lives, they get along or they connect. What is that? Somebody tell me what that is. I can't think of it. Drama something or drama bonding or something like that or whatever. I mean, driving while under combined influence of drugs and alcohol. Possession of controlled substance again. Driving while suspended license. And I mean, it wasn't, look, a year apart from each other. It's crazy. Possession of narcotics. That's Charlie. That's Charlie's record. That's Charlie, right there. Maybe they all had the same judge. Don Cato, they said she gave birth on meth. Have you seen her pics of him? Typical for Tweakerville. Yeah, I mean, this is the type of charges you get when you're on drugs. Theft, petty theft, grand theft, and you beat on people. You beat on your spouse. It's a typical meth head and crackhead activity is really what it is. You know, I will say though, you know what? Didn't you say that judge is from Riverside? Who said the judge is from Riverside? Was that you, Kitty Cat? You said the judge is from Riverside? Judge Hernandez? Is that what you said, right? All this is from Riverside. All of it is Riverside. Except for one. This is California Highway Patrol. He got pulled over for California Highway Patrol, driving while suspended license, possession of controlled substance, driving while combined. He was drunk and high driving. But every single one is Riverside. Every single one. Sounds like to me Riverside is the place to be if you want to commit crimes. Sounds like to me Riverside is the place to be if you want to commit crimes. You will get away. You will get away scot-free. You could beat whoever you want. You can get 20 different charges of possession. You can hold people in the house without their will. You can get caught with possession of ammunition right here. and get away. Riverside's the place to be. That's crazy. Now, I don't think, he shouldn't even be there. He shouldn't even be there. But you're right. I had to bring up what I brought up yesterday with Charlie's background. After doing a little bit of research, and I was like, oh man, who is this? And she went to the funeral on August 5th, right? She went to the funeral on August 5th, and supposedly that's around the time that something happened with him. That's what they're saying. And on this report, actually, that's what they say is around August 5th, too. My question is, if it did happen on August 5th, did it happen before the funeral? Is that why she got the black eye? Did it happen after the funeral? Is that why supposedly Jake wasn't there at the funeral? Jake and Emanuel both weren't there. Is that why? So does she know where Jake was disposed of? I'm not Jake, but Emanuel was disposed of? Or did she help him went to the funeral? There's a lot of questions. And we're all going to be sitting here watching this. Hopefully they had a camera in the trial. Hopefully they do.
Welcome. I want to do a couple of things today. First thing I want to do is introduce the individuals that are here on stage with me. First off, to my far left, we have Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco. We have San Bernardino County Sheriff Sergeant Nicholas Clark.
Hold on real quick. So we got Midnight Ministry Changing Life News says the day she reported kidnapping, a video on someone show her throwing trash bag in a dumpster. I wish I could find it. I did not see that video. So there's a video out there of her throwing trash in a dumpster. I did not know that. That's why I say Riverside County Judicial and Social Services are on trial as well. They about to cook. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, you get a... Oh. Yeah! You said they on trial as well. Is Jorge on trial? The judge, is it Jorge or George? I'm curious how he pronounces his name. George or Jorge? Or Judge Hernandez. Let's say Judge Hernandez. Is he on trial too? Yeah, I didn't see that video. I did not see that video. Wow.
San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes.
Morning.
We have Assistant District Attorney Brandon
Smith,
Smith,
to the meat and potatoes
High-Tech
here.
Crimes Unit. They were instrumental in helping us with this investigation. Let me tell you how things are going to go today.
Robert Belt says, allegedly she gave birth to Emanuel at the house due to their addiction, and no birth certificate has been found. So I had a video yesterday, Robert, or the day before yesterday. I remember I was on live, and I said the same thing. I didn't know for a fact if she had the baby at the house, but I questioned it. I said, there is no birth certificate. Where's the birth certificate at? What hospital was this baby born at? But if they were high, maybe this baby was born, in the shack in the back or in one of these rooms in the house. And that's exactly what I said yesterday on my live stream that I had, that we don't even know what day or time the baby was actually born because there is no track record. Was she even going to the doctor? Is there a track record of her going to the doctor? If she was getting high while she was pregnant, I'm pretty sure there is no track record of her going to the doctor. Because if she was getting high while she was pregnant, we all know this probably wouldn't have been happening.
There's going to be several individuals that make statements up here, and then when we're all done with the short statements, I will come back up and we will have a question and answer. I will.
Hold on, I'm sorry to keep pausing this, but y'all coming up with some good stuff. Hold on. What does it say? Raquel says, BJ Investigates said he might have a relative in office. The girl who spoke out against Diddy, Allie Carter, had said that San Bernardino PD and social workers trafficked her or something like that. Allie, you know what's funny? This is off topic, but I'm actually really good friends with one of the male workers that Diddy was with. I'm actually going to get him on here to do an interview. His name is Don the Dealer. I don't know if you saw any of his interviews, but I'm going to have him on here. We're going to talk about that because I know a little bit more of the Diddy case than what they were telling out in this media, just because I'm good friends with Don. But this is off topic just because she mentioned Diddy. But anyway, let's get back to this. Neighbors said that she was on meth. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, the whole family's on drugs. I think the mom is too. I think the mom was on drugs as well. Meth is only in your system for 72 hours. I don't know. I never did meth. No, but is it? Is it only in your system for 72 hours? That explains it. She was on drugs when the baby was born. And usually they take the baby at the hospital if the mother's on drugs. Yes. So I was questioning this to begin with. Is there even, because think about this, if you're a mother and you're doing drugs and you go to these doctor's appointments, the doctor, I'm pretty sure the nurses are going to know you're on drugs. Don't they do testing? I've had kids, but I've never been pregnant, obviously. But for you women that's been pregnant, do they do blood testing, right? I believe they do blood testing, right? When you're pregnant, they draw blood from you and do this and that. This way they can see if there's maybe something wrong with your baby or something wrong with you. So they'll be able to see if there's drugs in your system. Is that how it goes? So if they do find drugs in your system, that's when they involve the authorities.
We'll take questions. I will take all of your questions till there are no more questions. Having said that, there's a lot that we can't say, that I can't say, that nobody up here can say. And the reason is that the defendants in this case have been charged with crimes, serious crimes. And so now...
Neighbor does not want to say her name. So I'm going to tell you guys something that these people aren't telling you too much. So, you know, Jake had a brother, Hector, right? Hector and Jake are both gang related. Okay, they're both gang related. I'm not sure who else in the family is, but I know Hector and Jake are. They're both gang related. So, I don't know if you guys know about gang life and gang activity. You have Serrano's and North Daniels. Supposedly they're in North Daniel. North Daniel's pretty big. You don't want to mess. So they're scared of retaliation. So if people do come out and say something, you know, there is a possible threat that retaliation can happen. Now, a lot of times when you're in this activity and you go to jail, you're protected by the culture. But for this situation, Jake's probably not protected. Who knows? I don't know. But I don't think they would protect him for this situation.
They have a presumption of innocence that applies to them. They're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
So they always take your blood. That's what I
prove my
that's
case
what I
in the
thought.
court
I
of
thought
public
that.
opinion. And
So
that's,
she was on makes
there's
sense.
a lot that we
No
can't say in
doctor's
terms
appointments.
of the facts and the evidence.
So if there's no birth certificate, how do we know when Emanuel was even born? How do we know how old he really was? Think about that. How do we really know if there is no record or timestamp of his birth? Then that means there is no actual proof when he was actually born. That's effed up if you ask me. But I mean, it's true.
For that, you will have to come to the court and to the various hearings and see how the case plays out. However, having said that, it's appropriate to have a press conference because it was the defendants in this case that had a press conference first. And they did so in order to tell the public, the media, and ultimately law enforcement that their child had been kidnapped, when in fact that's not what occurred. And so
I tried looking, because, you know, the 2-year-old is not going to have a phone, you know, we know that. But I tried looking for pictures and I couldn't find anything on the 2-year-old. I did find some TikTok. Supposedly the cousin of Jake, who has the daughter, you know, Jake beat his daughter. And Jake supposedly has a son too, Jake Jr., but they renamed him. Supposed to be the cousin that has the daughter and Jake's first son also took the 2-year-old. I don't know if this is true, but if you go on TikTok and search, there's supposedly a woman that is friends with the cousin. And she was able to, that's why we have pictures, I guess she was allowed to put pictures or something like that of the whole family. But that's what was said.
we're here to clear up some misconceptions and to explain how this case unfolded in terms of the investigation. It involves two counties working very well together. I know everybody up here on this stage, we work well together normally, but in this case,
yes.
I'm very proud of the work that was done by
I believe she's 7 now.
Riverside
She's
County
7, I believe.
Sheriff,
Yeah, she's
San Bernardino
bedridden.
County Sheriff, my office, and also the District Attorney's Office in San Bernardino County. All right, so we'll go ahead and kick this off. I'm going to bring up first San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes.
Yeah, we all know that, anybody's been,
to Mike's point, I want to thank all of you in the media for covering this, specifically the parents' initial statements to the public while we were trying to find Emanuel. They became critical as we continued through this investigation. But I want to talk about a little bit about the process, because we've seen a number of questions related to Amber Alerts and things like that. So I hope when I finish this that everybody understand kind of the course of the investigation. Because there was no car. But the investigation started for us on August 14th. When Rebecca Haro reported that her son had been kidnapped. Folks, within 24 hours through video surveillance, we found inconsistencies in Rebecca's statement, and as a result of that, there was no other vehicle to put out on an Amber Alert or anything, and I know many of you were wondering why.
So he said they found, within 24 hours is when they found consistencies in her statement. They didn't believe her. For us as the viewers, we didn't believe her when we first saw her on the news. We didn't believe her in the first 20 minutes, the first 5 minutes. Some of us, the first 20 seconds, like, she lying. This woman is lying. Tell us the truth.
Why that didn't occur. But really, after finding out those inconsistencies in the statement on the initial report, that's where hundreds of hours of investigations have come in by our specialized investigations division to try to get to the bottom of what's really going on here. And when I say hundreds of hours, I'm talking about forensic data on vehicles, phones, and potential crime scenes, judicial authorized search warrants that were served. And through that process, that's where we learned that the jurisdiction of where this has occurred was in Riverside County. So hence the Riverside County DA and Riverside County Sheriff's Department.
Is there any pictures of Rebecca pregnant? Just a question. Any pictures of Rebecca pregnant? Any videos? I said this the other day, actually. Emanuel was the first baby I've ever seen that's supposedly 7 months old, and I haven't seen a picture of the grandmother holding him, an uncle holding him, a sister holding him. I haven't seen a picture of another relative holding the baby. We all have kids, and we all probably have pictures of another relative holding our baby when they were young. I haven't seen one. Does the 2-year-old have fetal? Yeah, I don't know. I think she stole a baby. All right, so Jamie Cook said, I think she stole a baby. You're not the only one, Jamie, who said that. I actually got some information that was sent to my email. I just didn't get a chance to look into it. And they sent me a picture of a woman that's missing and a baby that's missing. And the baby kind of resembles Emanuel. I'm not sure. But they sent me these pictures and they told me, look at this. Do you think this possibly could be related? And this is really Emanuel. I'm not saying it is, but, people are sending me stuff, and this is one of the ones somebody sent me. Rebecca seems traumatized on her thing. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Rebecca is traumatized under her own spell with stuff she did to herself. I think she is also, that's why, you really think about, how old is Rebecca? Rebecca's what, 41? Remember, she's 41, right? How old is Jake? I think Jake was younger. Jake's like 34 or 33 or something like that. He's younger than her, but I don't remember his age, but he is younger. I think they got together and trauma bonded over each other's drama. Because you got to remember, Rebecca didn't come from a perfect family. Rebecca's brother's doing, 50 years in prison himself? Remember, Rebecca's brother's doing 50 years in prison because he offed his girl and tried to make it look like she offed herself, and it didn't work. So you got to remember that too. Rebecca's mom is still saying that, James is Rebecca's brother, right? James is Rebecca's brother. Rebecca's mom is still saying that James is innocent. James didn't do it, that his girlfriend Jalen did it to herself. Yeah, 41 and 32, I believe. And Rebecca's mom has this Facebook page up, Justice for James, who's the brother that's doing 50 years. She has the audacity to put this Facebook page up. Justice for James. What about justice for Jalen? Justice for James. She's blaming Riverside for her son's conviction is what she's doing. So I think the whole family is messed up. The whole family is. I heard her ex-husband didn't know she had another kid. Who's her ex-husband? Yeah, Jake, the one that passed away in the home, supposedly from an overdose. I'm talking about Hector or whatever. Yeah. He was a drug addict, supposedly passed away from overdose. They said she never took him to the doctor. They knew what they were doing. They're playing dumb too. If they were so drugged up, who knows? They probably even sold him. She has a teenager too. Oh, she's got a teenager. What's the teenager's name? I bet you the teenager has some sort of social media under something. I'm willing to bet. Oh, yes. Even in court yesterday, she was asked a question, and she looked over to him to get the answer. Yes, the question was, if I can remember exactly what the question was, but I don't remember, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I got to see if I can remember that question. Yeah, who's the ex-husband? That's all I want. Who's the ex-husband? They have a kid together? Is her prior children living with the ex-husband? And if so, if the prior children are living with the ex-husband, why? Why? You know what? I'm not saying for all cases, but a lot of times the court will go with the mom when it comes to child custody. They'll go, a lot of times they'll go with the mom. A lot of times when I see the mom lose their kids, usually the mom got to be doing some messed up stuff. So did she lose her kids and the husband's got them? I'm just asking. This is the question. Yes, the nephew died of an overdose. But, all right, so the nephew is Charlie. The nephew did die of an overdose, and that's the funeral she went to. But Jake also has a brother named Hector who also passed away from a so-called overdose. It was like in 2023 in the same house they lived in. They probably did off him. And you know what? I'm not saying they probably hit him up inside the head, but they probably fed him too much drugs. They were probably all so high, and he just fed him drugs. Probably what happened. And he died, unfortunately. Oh, yes, that's in this interview. Yes. All right. So Raquel says you should watch the whole cop's interview. It was pretty annoying, saying something about we don't need the public's help. Yes, they said we don't need the help from armchair detectives.
Which I can't stress enough. We've had a long-term partnership. We work well together.
All kinds of stuff. Pretty much
we know
just
how to
calling
get
us
things
names.
done in these environments. But that's why the
wait.
jurisdiction had changed.
And then a reporter got up and said, so I've been looking for Emanuel for a long time. I'm trying to help look. This is what the reporter said in the press conference to the police. He said, I've been trying to help look. Can you please give us any sort of clue or location where Emanuel could be so we can go look there? And he told the reporter, you go home and rest. We got this. We ain't. No, you ain't got this because y'all ain't find nothing yet.
In the original jurisdiction that was reported in, which is Yucaipa, California. But as we went through that, portion of the investigation and realized that these things that had happened in Riverside County, you saw the culmination of all the different entities get involved. And going back to what Mike mentioned about the DA's office in San Bernardino County and high-tech crimes, forensically, there are a number of things that we were able to prove up that we're not going to be able to share today exactly how we did that, but there is a tremendous amount of evidence that suggests that the initial story posed was not the correct story. So in that partnership with our agencies,
it was the DA that said
social media.
Oh, here we go. That's it.
Originally find a missing baby, but then eventually quickly learning that that investigation was not something that it started as. Not so much for social media and keyboard warriors who, quite honestly, sometimes hamper.
Oh no, wait, let's hear it again.
And keyboard warriors who, quite honestly, sometimes hamper and prevent us from a good investigation. I do want.
Wait, one more time.
Not something that it started as. Not so much for social media and keyboard warriors who, quite honestly, sometimes hamper and prevent us from a good investigation. I do want.
Wait. Let me get this right. He said keyboard warriors can prevent them from doing a good investigation. Somebody explain to me how. How can a keyboard warrior keep you from doing... Wait. So we ain't got the evidence. We just going off what y'all saying, right? We don't got no evidence. We don't got no hard facts. I don't have no DNA droppings in the freezer that I can send to my lab. I don't have cell phone data reports from Jake or Rebecca's cell phone. You guys got all that. So how can the keyboard warriors stop y'all from doing? I found that so funny. It's, you know what? It was y'all know the comedian Chris Rock. Chris Rock said something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I'll never forget this. He said, it's like I'm going into the grocery store and messing with your job, and I'm tearing up all the paper bags while you're trying to bag groceries. I am not tearing up your paper bag. I'm sitting here on my desk trying to figure out what's going on. But we're hampering the investigation. That's hilarious. We're hampering the investigation. We're stopping you from doing your job.
To expand a little bit about our relationship with San Bernardino, a lot from the media, a lot of questions have been raised.
See, Midnight Mystery, social media to only help stay on course. We investigate better than them, says Jamie Cook. Some of us do. Think about this. We all have Instagram, TikTok. We all go onto a page and we see somebody and that person's not tagged. And you go to the comments and somebody might say, hey, what's her at? What's his at? And 5 comments down, somebody found them already. Already found them. You know why? Because some people have nothing else better to do but be on the phone, be on a computer, and do this, you know? And I'm not saying that's bad, but because they're doing that, they got really good at doing it.
Raised about jurisdiction. And what Sheriff Dicus and I routinely talk.
If we on a keyboard, we ain't searching on the ground. They full of it. What about when they said they knew nothing of the fire next door to them? Oh, yeah. And they caught the fire. Isn't that, you talking about the fire they caught on live TV? The fire, the news camera was there, and the 2 homeless people burnt down. You talking about that one?
Talk about to our own communities isn't really necessarily displayed in the media or said to.
If this case happened in 2002, I would not be talking to you. You guys would not be chatting about it. It would have been a little piece of article in a newspaper, probably like this big, and if not smaller, because we all were reading newspapers. And it would have been not in the local section. It would have probably been in the worldwide news, maybe in the worldwide news section if it got that far, maybe. But if we weren't living in that county, we don't get that local news. So we would have never even known Baby Emanuel existed. We wouldn't have known Jake. We wouldn't know who Rebecca is. So thanks to social media today, we know about this case. And the only reason I guarantee you why they're on doing this press conference right now is because of people like us that are so much into it, and they're getting pressured from the higher ups. Y'all got to go talk to the people. You guys have to go talk to the people right now, because we have too many people asking questions, knocking on the doors, sending letters and emails. You guys got to go talk, because us keyboard warriors are hampering your investigation, because we're in the office tearing your bags up.
To the media, but neither one of us care about jurisdiction. Our belief is that the Inland Empire is better served when we are cooperating and working together. And in this investigation, from the very beginning, it was obvious that it could involve both counties.
Oh, you're right. It was us that broke the Gabby case. Well, not me, but people on YouTube broke that case. Forgot about that.
When something like that happens, particularly in this case, the original investigation began with Sheriff Dicus, and if he chooses to take it to the end, he will, which obviously he did. And my position is Sheriff Dicus is responsible for this and the assistance of my department. So there is no asking us. There is no anything like that. It is, we have to serve our public best, and he has every single available resource that the Riverside County Sheriff's Office has to offer to make sure that we provide justice in this case. This is an extensive investigation with both agencies that ultimately is headed by the supervisor of the detective to be answered. But I'll end it by saying this before we get into injuries, life-altering trauma.
Yeah, that's the injuries that happen.
Investigation, and we will successfully bring it to conclusion with the help of both DA's offices.
Yesterday in court, we filed murder charges on both Jake and Rebecca Haro. We also filed filing of a false police report. And with that, I will take questions. I know you're going to have a lot of questions. I do want to lay some ground rules. The way we do it here is don't shout at me, no chaos, just raise your hand. I ask you to ask me one question at a time. I'll do my best to call on everybody. When we've gotten through everyone who has a question, then we can go back and ask more follow-ups.
He was like,
okay?
no, you should get rest.
So I'll start here on the front row. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Stephanie with CNN. My question is, first of all, do you have any idea where baby Emanuel is at this point?
Yes, we have a pretty strong indication of where the
Raquel said, I'm just watching the best reporters, YouTubers. He also said that YouTubers or streamers are not reporting the truth, or other words, that networks or local news are the only ones reporting the truth. Well, I can't speak for every YouTuber, and I can't speak for every streamer, but I do know a majority of us are getting our news from the actual news, and we're just relaying it to you in our way. That's what I do. And when I see something on the news, whether I believe it or not, I'm going to let you guys know, hey, this could be BS, and this is why I think it's BS, or maybe it's the truth, and this is why I think it's the truth. But it's up to the listener to have a open mind for themselves to see if it's, BS or not. So when it comes to people reporting on this case, yeah, we're spreading awareness. Here's the thing. I don't care if it's they're reporting lies or they're reporting truths, they're reporting false information. Everybody wants the same outcome. Everybody wants Emanuel to be found. Whether he's alive or not, everybody wants them. There's some closure. Everybody wants Jake and Rebecca to pay for what they did. There's not one of us that are on stream or typing that will say other words. We all want the same thing. So if we all want the same thing, then, some people might put out false information. I'm not saying they will. But even if they do, I'm pretty sure they might have got it from somebody else. Word of mouth, whatever it is, But it's up to you to take it and run with it or do what you want with it. But I bet you that person wants the same thing. We all do. I know I do.
Remains of baby Emanuel are. So that investigation is ongoing at this time. Yes, go ahead.
Matt Johnson, Court TV. What was the information that led to the initial search?
I got a few more minutes in here, guys. A few more minutes. I'm trying to see if I can find a question.
Sheriff, you want to take that?
With the guy. Hold on. The question is funny. When he asked, should we still keep looking for Emanuel?
Jake Haro with his ex-wife. There's another child who They were prosecuted for child abuse as well, child neglect, cruelty.
This is when he starts throwing the judge on the bus, I believe.
That child was also an infant, and that came to the courts, arrested in 2018. It came in to the courts in 2023. We had charged various felony crimes, plea to everything that they've been charged with, and they're essentially throwing themselves on the mercy of the court. In this case, a judge
basically he said,
here in Riverside County.
On the first offense that Jake got in trouble for, for his previous charges, the abuse charges, he pled guilty to the court, not the DA. He pled guilty to the court. So when you plead guilty to the court, it's open to the court to decide on what to do with you, not the DA anymore. So since he pled guilty to the court, it was all up to the judge. And the judge is the one who decided to give him probation and say, here you go home. How it happened?
Happened to have been a visiting judge from San Bernardino County, gave Mr. Haro a suspended sentence, which means, if I can translate for you what...
Lisa said, why was she pawning midnight? Oh, wait, their work comp ran out? All right, wait. Lisa, I got something for you when it comes to work compensation. You just reminded me. I forgot all about that. So for y'all don't know, Jake and Rebecca were doing work compensation scams. For you guys that don't know, I got this information from Abby Blabby True Crime. She's a good source too. This is the paperwork filed under Jake, just one of them, just one, from Walmart Inc. Let's take a look. Workman's Comp, injury of date, 2014, then also has 2018, Jake Harrell, or Haro, however you will say it, Walmart Inc. The injury was pelvis, pelvic organs, tailbone, and buttocks. So is he saying he fell on his butt? Wait. He's saying he fell on his butt. This is Jake's first ever workman comp claim. He fell on his butt. And then it shows the law firm that took care of it, Corporate Center Drive, law firm, Somley and Rogers, Walmart Inc. That's the first claim. So let's keep track of this. That's one claim, right? One. Here's the second claim. He claimed another. So wait. This is 2018. Next claim is arm, wrist, back, spine and spinal cord, leg, not specific, multiple parts, more than 5. So this guy fell again? Wait, hold on. This is another workman's comp claim, right? For Walmart. So, oh man, this guy be lying, bro. How do you get away with this? Oh man. Here's the third workman's comp, Here's the third. This is from 2022. First body part is the abdomen, including internal organs and groin. How do you get a workman's comp for your stomach? You get punched in the stomach, bro? Chest, including ribs, breastbone, and internal organs, shoulders, knee, and digestive system. How do you get a workman's comp for your digestive system? Has anybody tried to get a workman's comp for your digestive system? Let me know if it's worked for you. What, you puked, threw up, and said you gotta get work? This man was kind of make you mad, don't it? Some people just get away with everything. Some people get away with this man got away with workman's comp for his stomach. Some people can't steal a Snickers without getting caught. Like this. Oh man. Sounds like he explaining how he hurt the kids. Oh, no, you didn't go there. That's crazy because if you're on work comp and get injured at work, the first thing they do is drug test you. And you come out positive, they do. You're right. They usually do drug test you. They send you right away. Sounds like, oh, man. Yeah, there's another one. I think there's 2 or 3 more. This is just the third workman's comp, the third one. Can you believe all the injuries he has claimed? I'm sorry to hear that for him. I recovered from cancer myself. I'm at home. I'm glad to hear you recovered. I have him in my prayers. See, this is the weirdest story ever. Yeah, it's weird, right? Wait. So this is the third. Remember, this is 2022. His workman's comp is from his digestive system, aka stomach. Try to go to work tomorrow and try that. Tell me how that works, please. I want to know. All right, here's the fourth one. This one's from last year, September. And this is from, wait, what company was the last company? So the first three was Walmart. This employer is Los Palmos Estates. Los Palmos Estates is this employer. I'm actually curious to see what this is. Los Palmos Estates. And let's put California or whatever. I'm curious to see who let him have workman's comp because of his stomach. Los Palmos Estates is a mobile home park located in the city of Palm Springs, California. So he was working for a mobile home park and then what? Filed workman's comp on his stomach. Yeah! He sounded like a winner to me. All right. Let's go to the fourth one. This is the fourth one. His whole body hurt. Wait, this is crazy. This is crazy. So the fourth one is with Blue Triton Brands. His neck, his neck and his back, his neck, his arm, his hand, his shoulders, and multiple body parts. This is from last year. Blue Triton Brands, Inc. Let's see who Blue Triton, I'm just curious to see who this is. Blue Triton Brands, Brands, Inc. Let's see. I'm glad you brought the workman's comp because I forgot that I forgot. And I would have ended this live like, oh, I didn't show y'all the workman's comp. All right, so Blue Triton Brands, Inc. has merged with Primo Water. It's a beverage company. So it looks like they might deliver water. They might deliver things like that. Oh, what happened here? So yeah, it looks like they deliver water. They deliver things like that. Let's pull this back up. I accidentally got out of it. All right, so yeah, that's what Blue Triton. So he probably claimed he got hurt carrying water upstairs or something and got hurt. So let's go to the next one. This is 4. This is the fourth. There's a fifth one, I believe. Is there? I think there's a fifth one. Yep, fifth one. Hold on. Wait. Make sure we got this right. All right, fourth. All right, fifth. All right, so Blue Triton again. Arm, elbow, wrist, hand, back, and hips. Pelvis, organs, tailbone. His tailbone get hurt every one. He got his tailbone in there, don't he? Every single one he got his tailbone in there. Tailbone working for him. Here's the 6. Blue Triton again. He getting away with a lot. Hand, arm, neck, wrist. Yep, and then we're back to so. Looks like he had 6 workman's comp. Oh. I want y'all to go to work tomorrow and try and get workman's comp for your stomach. Please. I want somebody to try that so bad. How do you get workman's comp for your stomach? How you got punched in the stomach, bro, at work? Is that what happened? Stop telling them jokes. Stop beating on them kids. They want to punch you in the stomach. Oh, man. But thanks for reminding me about that. I forgot all about I had the workman's comp thing up. I forgot all about that. I want to see if I can find this one question.
That is, it means that instead of sending him to prison,
hold on, there's one question I want to see if I can find here.
In that case, if that judge had done his job, out to you, I want to read to you the.
I wonder if they cut that part out.
Not to my knowledge, no. Over a period of time. And
okay, here's a question. You could barely hear him, but I'll let you know what he says.
No, one question, sir. One question.
Here's the question right here. This one's funny.
I didn't say that, sir. I didn't say I know where the remains are.
let you guys know what he says.
I'm in this every day. No disrespect, I understand who you are. But if you have information here where you know something, can you do so I can get some rest?
Well, you should get some.
All right. So he basically said, because earlier the detective said that they're working on leads, they have a good lead of where Emanuel was probably at. So the guy got up and said, if you know where Emanuel was probably at and you got these leads, can you please tell us? Because I've been looking for Emanuel every day and every night, so some of us can go rest. And this is his response. I thought this was funny. This was his response.
Well, you should get some rest, sir.
You should get some rest.
You should get some rest. But no, I can't share with you anything. Look, there are professionals that are looking for the remains of this child. If the public has any information, then we ask for their help. So we don't know exactly where the remains are. We have some ideas in terms of where we're going to look and where we're going to continue to investigate.
So basically, he told us, hey, there's professionals out there. Y'all don't look no more. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let me read a couple more of these before I go. I'll tell work I have a up. Hold on. Let me scroll some of these. See what we got going on. I work at a doctor's office. They don't give a dang. Praying for you too, Raquel. Praying for you too. Please, speedy recovery. Please. Let's see. I don't like this guy. I don't like him either. I really don't like him either. If you check the pH of the guy he talks to now on the tarot, you see video of the pawn shop. Yes, what's his name? That's the guy. I'm trying to think. What is the guy asking the question name? He's like the homie. If you check the pH of the guy he talks to now on the video of the pawn. Yeah, what is the guy's name that's asking the question? I've been seeing him everywhere, but I always forget to get his name. That guy is so funny to me. Because he's like one of the homies on the street, and he's out here doing reporting. Hey, homie. Yeah, say. Thank you, kitty cat. Thank you. This show was the best. I don't like the cocky sheriff. I don't either. I mean, if you got people out here, I don't care if you're a keyboard warrior. I don't care if you're on your laptop, on your phone. If people are trying to help, hey, you guys are the ones with the evidence, not us. You guys have all the evidence. So how are we going to hamper or step on your parade when you got the DNA sitting in a cold fridge somewhere? We don't got that. Ain't like we opening the fridge and we're tampering with evidence. So, yeah, I don't know. You know what it is? I tell you, you know what? I tell you exactly what it is. You ever watch those movies where the cops got a case and they're trying to handle the case and they can't handle the case? And then what happens? FBI comes. Oh, we're taking over. And then what does the cop and the lead investigators do? They get mad. This was our case. We want to solve the case. FBI's like, nope, sorry, it's us now. I bet you that's what's happening. What's going on? They don't want the higher ups to come down and take over. So like, we got this. We don't need your help. I'm willing to bet. His name is Ahmed. Ahmed, I'm going to write that down. Ahmed. Because I've been trying to find him. Ahmed. He is funny. Yeah, he's gotten a lot of tips. A lot. Yeah, and he stood up and asked him. He said, hey, if you know where Emanuel's at, could you please let us know? Because I've been out every night looking for him. Let us know if you know where he's at so I can at least go rest. And what does he get in response? Well, you should just go rest, sir. Let us get this. Professionals are going, hey, come on, bro. No, thank you. No, thank you for, spending your time away from your family, trying to find somebody else. Man, get out of here. You're doing a great job, guys. Keep it up. Yes, everybody keep it up. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to post another video later if I find anything, but I'm definitely going to be back tomorrow. He said a whole lot to Rebecca. All right, make sure y'all, if y'all ain't following, follow, like, turn your notifications. So that way, you know, when I come back on here, because what I'm trying to do is anytime I don't care if it's BS, truth or not. Anytime I find something, I'm going to come on here. I'm going to let you guys know, and I'm going to let you guys decide whether it's true, whether it's false, or whether it's reality. You know, and that's the way it should be. Everything should be presented to you. Everything. Not just one side. It all should be. And then you should have the choice to decide whether it's true or not. Right? And then we could talk about it like, hey, what's the evidence behind this? And that should go with all cases. But my battery is about to die. This is Fugitive TV. Y'all take care. He on TikTok on the Tira. Thank you for letting me know, kitty cat. On the Tira. All right. You guys take care. I'm out.